There has been an interesting twist to the whole story of Honorable Alex Ikwecheg'S assault of this Uber driver, especially because Very Dark Man, the one-man squad online policeman of the Federal Republic of Poor Nigerians, has entered the case with Nigerian diasporan investigative journalist Dr. Kemi Lawrence of KemiTalks. Now, if you have watched any of those videos, you will see that Mr. Stephen, the Uber driver, said that the girl that was sent to give him that snail knew exactly what to do, and she kept the snail on the passenger side of the front seat, which means the Uber driver was not supposed to touch that snail. He probably knew from native intelligence or the intelligence of street Uber driving business that you don't need to know what you are delivering, especially when you are suspecting those things. It is very possible that Honorable Alex suspected that the guy was giving him an attitude of, I know what this is about and I don't want to get involved with touching it. So come and pick it your stuff. Because of this Alex guy panicked, became insecure. That's why he began to abuse this guy and assaulted him long before the guy even started recording. Dr. Kemi exposes the fact that she has intel that the snail is used for juju, and there's enough to support that by all the threats that the House of Rep member was releasing throughout the video and even at the police station. Watch the VDM interview and Dr. Kemi's expose, and the fact that she has entered the case fully with all her powers and family connections.
So, this is the boat driver that was assaulted by that honorable member that claimed that he's a senator. The reason why I say that claimed that he's a senator, because I discovered this morning that man is not a senator. So, this is the guy that I assaulted. Now, we have seen the video, we saw all what transpired, we saw the horrible things he said to you, we heard him call you monkey, rats, all the derogatory things he said to you. Now, the question is, what happened after that video? Please.
Okay, so, after the video, he called some police officers. I don't know the division they were assigned to.
Okay.
And then they bundled me to the station. I wanted to drive the car. They said, no, I should not drive. So two sat beside me and I was in their middle. And then they drove me down to the station.
Okay.
When they drove me down to the station, they said I should go inside. As I had calls, they didn't allow me to take my calls.
Okay.
So they were not asking what happened. They didn't ask me. They were asking people that were not there, the police officers. And then the police officer quickly said, I went to Honorable's house and I was fighting the Honorable. I kept mute.
Did you show them the video?
I have not shown anybody the video as at that time. Okay. They've not even the security person that came to bear witness as at that time have not seen the video.
Okay.
As at that time. Okay. So they now referred us to crime, that we should go to crime. So we went to crime. The man was not asking what happened. As I was explaining, initially I didn't explain. The man now said he cannot actually hear from one side. The other person has to come to actually give his own side of the story. And then the police officer said, when they said I fought him, they now said no, they should go and bring the man. Immediately his security man now called him, and they passed the phone to the IPO that was in charge of the case. And then the IPO was now talking to him on the phone and stepped out of the office where we were. And after some time, he came back and said he wants to go and do investigation at the Honorable's house.
Okay, the IPO left you at the station.
At the station.
Which station was this?
Metama police
station.
So
it happened within Metama.
It happened within Metama.
Okay, so the IPO left you at the station and went to the Honorable's house. Okay.
And then after they kept me there for over 2 hours, I was behind. I was at the counter. I was not detained though.
They kept you behind the counter.
They kept me behind the counter. And then after 2 hours plus, he came back. And then he was now like, why did I record the video?
Why did I now change
He was not trying to change the narrative. And I asked him, is there a part of the law that says I cannot record what somebody is doing to me? He was becoming a threat to me. And I had to take evidence so that people will know where I am.
By this time, was the honorable member there?
He wasn't there.
He was at home.
He was at home. So then I gave me a form to fill, to write my own statement as to what happened. As I was writing, the honorable I came. And then when he came, he started talking and he was shouting.
Even at the station?
Even at the station. He was
calling you names?
Calling me names. Like, I still kept mute and I was looking at him. So my colleagues were talking to him. Me, I've already had my own fair share of trauma from him. I don't want to actually have any engagement or any encounter with him. I just went to one corner and I sat down. And I was listening to everything he was saying. All the names he was calling me. You common boat driver, you're a poor man, you have pride in your poor, you have this, you have that. kept mute. I said, so the problem you have now is a poor man cannot speak that I'm in Nigeria and I shouldn't be treated as a foreigner in this country. As I'm from Delta State and I cannot be treated, I cannot have you treat me like a foreigner in my own.
Now, when did you leave the station?
I left the station at about, I think some minutes to 3 or so.
Where's your car?
My car is still at the station.
So the police collected your car?
They collected my car.
And you left the station this morning?
Yeah, I left the station.
Was the honorable member detained?
He wasn't detained.
They let him go?
They let him go.
That's really, really sad. Now, I want to ask you a question. The woman that sent you that message, do you know her name?
I didn't know her name per se.
Do you know her business name?
I don't know her business name. It was a request. But I think I checked from my boat app. I think the last request that came in when I tried calling from the app, it was, I think, Gloria.
Gloria?
Yeah.
Because she said something in that video. She said something like, and do you know who he is? She was also supporting him. That's why I'm asking you that if you know who she is. Now, what did you go and deliver to him? What even really happened? Just give me a brief summary of what happened before that video.
Okay, before the video, I actually got a request on boat.
Okay.
Right? I was closing already because I needed to resume work this morning at 8:30.
Okay.
So I was closing at 9:10. I said, let me just quickly go home so that I can have enough rest. So I got this request to Metama. I felt it was a normal request. And then she told me, no, that it's not a request, that I'm picking something up from a garden.
Okay.
Right? From a garden.
Which garden?
I don't know the name of the garden. She just described the garden that after Kado roundabout,
Okay.
you will see one orange color container and then there's a garden beside it.
Okay.
So I just quickly went there, parked. The girl just came without wasting time, brought the package that it's a snail. I said,
Snail?
okay, snail, yeah. So she dropped it. It was the girl that brought it and dropped it on the seat. She understood that part.
Okay.
I was like, okay, there's no problem. I'm going. So on getting to the man's house, I called him. Okay, I'm at your gate. You know, I said, okay, I should give it to the security man. They gave it to the security man. The security man explained where the house address is. So I drove down to the house. On approaching, I called the man again. I said, Oga, I'm here. He now said, I'm not here. That if you are here, I will see you. So I drove. He now said I should park beside one car. When I parked beside the car, I saw him, but I didn't know he was the one. So I saw him seated few meters away from my car. So I greeted, good evening, sir. He didn't respond. Good evening, sir. He didn't respond. So I presume he is not the one that I'm supposed to deliver this thing to. Okay. And since he didn't answer, the next thing is for me to call the person that has this package. The next thing I dialed the person's number. And his phone rang. And then the next thing he was like, are you stupid? Are you mad? Are you a fool? Bring my stuff for me. So I was not happy at the way he talked to me because I was doing my professional job, right? I was not happy. So I was like, okay, this thing you're saying to me, it has not gotten to it. Normally, I'm not even supposed to bring this thing to you. You are supposed to come and pick it yourself. Yeah. That was the only thing that got him angry. You are asking me to come to your car to pick my stuff? Are you okay? Do you know who you're talking to?
It's okay. I can see the anger on your face, don't worry. The truth is that Nigeria is for everybody. Nigeria is not for one person. If an honorable member will be treating people like this, then just imagine what the president is supposed to do. Now, I need to remind you, we are all clamoring for the youth to come to power. See this one and our youth. I always say something. The youth are looking for a better... They are not trying to make this country better, a lot of them. They want to get power to do worse than these people because they have a better way of hiding this evil than these old men in power. But nevertheless, the man does not have immunity. I just discovered that he's not a senator. So actually pursue this case. And I believe that the law will take its course. We'll go to... I've heard a lot of things about Maitama police station, which I'm not going to say. But I believe in the new commissioner of police that have been moved here. Commissioner of police DC. So this case will be reported to him directly. And I believe that the law will take its course. So don't worry. You said you are not feeling well.
Not feeling well. He hit me on my chest severally. He was just hitting me on my chest and I stayed mute. I was looking at him. So when he was becoming much of a threat to me, initially I did not record because I didn't go there with intention of fighting. If I went there with another motive, I would start recording from the very beginning. It was when he was becoming a threat, when he said he would pay 50 million naira and then they would delete me and look at me, this orchid. He was just calling me all sorts of names.
You pay 50 million and they will delete you.
He would pay 50 million naira to somebody, to people, and then they would kill me and nobody would say anything. And when I noticed this thing is becoming what I never expected, I quickly brought out my phone
and you recorded.
And I started recording.
Don't worry, we'll go and write a petition.
Dr. Kemi Lawrence, continuing on the situation with the Uber driver, Mr. Stephen, and the lawmaker, Honorable Alex, the case is becoming a little bit complicated. VDM did an interview with the driver, and the Nigerian's office filed a petition at the IGP's office. And VDM's interview is very critical. I've seen some things that many of you may not have seen, and it's pretty serious. Let me tell you what they are now. This driver, Mr. Stephen, his car was seized or impounded. His car is here in the police station. The first thing the IGP needs to do is to authorize that car to be released. The car has nothing to do with nothing. Okay? I don't believe he was in the car when the assault happened. It was outside the car. Now, impounding the car, there has to be an independent person that will search that car and make sure nothing has been placed in any part of that car. We're dealing with some diabolical stuff. Just wait till the end. We're dealing with some diabolical stuff, potential diabolical stuff. Now, holding that car, before he picks up his car needs to be released to him. That's his source of bread to feed him and his family. He has to do an independent inspection of that car. VDM, if you're watching, please tag VDM, people. No tagging of any blogs or anybody on my page. VDM is okay. VDM, if you're watching, I'm going to send a message to JJ Adeyan Jr. because I know JJ personally. They should clear that car. In other words, make sure the police have not inserted anything or planted any drugs or anything into that boy's car, Mr. Stephen's car. Release his car to him. It's a disgrace to see that the police actually released the lawmaker and kept the driver in custody for questioning. The lawmaker was released. Why? And you kept the car of the guy, his daily bread. You have a lawmaker that just said, if that driver likes, he can call the IGP, and that driver will disappear from Nigeria and nothing will happen. I'm concerned about two things. Disappear from Nigeria and nothing will happen. As in what? What country is he going? Or you're planning to kill him? Dump him inside some crate and take him outside Nigeria to maybe Cotonou or Cameroon and throw him into the Atlantic Ocean? Is that what you're talking about? Alex, how many people have you threatened? How many people have you killed? How many people have you dumped out of Nigeria? We know what's going on. We're investigative journalists, and we will dig through this, okay? I'm untouchable. No one can touch me. No one even knows where I live in the world. I'm just telling you now that you cannot keep intimidating Nigerians, especially hardworking Nigerians. That guy could be doing Yahoo now inside the house on the computer. He's driving a car up and down with the petrol prices. And he's not even delivering someone to a location. He's delivering a snail, which brings me to the snail. People, like I said, we might be dealing with the diabolical stuff. Share my video. So I called my babalawo. Or shall I say mamalawo? Yeah, I have one now. You guys know Mrs. Adewale now from 2019. Okay, let me tell you about Mrs. Adewale. I don't do Juju, but listen to this. Mrs. Adewale is the lady I went to see in 2019 when my son had those rashes. Do you remember anyone that followed me those days on Instagram Live when Rich KJT had the crow thing that was just crazy? And we went to Igbobi, and Igbobi tested him. They didn't find a virus. They didn't find a bacteria in the crusty part of his skin. And it was one nurse in Igbobi that said I should go to Alagbo market, Agbo, so in Agege. So when we went to Agege market, we saw different kinds of Agbo people. When you go to Agbo market, where you see all the Juju men there, all cats, snakes, little coffins, all kinds of stuff is in those Alagbo market. But I went to a lady called Mrs. Adewale, and if you remember Mrs. Adewale well, there was a woman I videotaped. I didn't show her face. She was buying one kind of leaf, a very big leaf. They were taking that leaf to South Africa, and they paid 25,000 for that leaf. In those days, that's a lot. It's just like a bunch of Ewedu at 25,000. They said it's some kind of, I said it's a healing, something for healing. Said they want to use it for Juju. Imagine. So I called her, and I asked her. I said they were delivering a snail from a garden. Snails are invasive pests. In America, you wouldn't even have them. They kill them because they destroy the vegetation in Florida. So if this guy actually went to some kind of garden, those side street gardens, they sell flowers and everything. You can breed snails in there because once it's rain, everything's fine. But one single snail, Mrs. Adewale said it's going to be used for rituals. That's what she told me. I mean, Uber drivers are delivering a lot too. Go to Ghana. In Accra, we were talking about that. Yango, Bolts, riders, they're delivering so much drugs. And it's been controversial because Ghana has legalized marijuana for medicinal use. And the growers will be shipping it to the people that be using it in their clinics. But also the growers are shipping it to celebrities who are smoking in their houses and all that stuff. So there's a lot of drugs moving. That's an Accra, Ghana thing. But back to Nigeria. We don't know what our dispatch riders or drivers are delivering, but almost every Uber service has a delivery service, food, Uber food, Bolt food, all that. But this came with a car. Okay, they used the car, they didn't want to use a rider. And it was in the evening, and a snail, one snail. So which takes me to Alex. Honorable Alex, what are you using one snail for? A snail is invasive. You're not using it to breed more or to do something in your garden. It's for Juju now. Can you just tell Nigerians? Honorable Alex, it's for diabolical purposes. Am I correct? Like I said, my own Agbo lady. Okay, that lady makes a lot of good agbo, and she made this cream and soap. You guys remember I videotaped all this stuff while she was making the cream and soap for my son, and all the rashes went away. But they also sell a lot of this stuff, and she told me like one single snail is used for juju rituals. Alex, are you trying to do rituals on one of your fellow lawmakers? What is it? Because this stuff is going out of control. Okay, you heard the Uber driver. The poor man has no voice. I'm a daughter of a high-ranking politician in Nigeria. My father has served 51 appointments in 64 years of Nigeria, and I can tell you how powerful I am. I don't have to boast. But poor people in Nigeria have no voice. If not for people like VDM and others, you know what I mean? Look at the Juju now. You sprayed him with water and hosed him up when he went to protest from me during the BOMI case. 4 people were protesting, concerned Nigerian, all this stuff. Now he's an attorney, human rights lawyer, and everything. Shout out to Deji for that petition. Yes, petition the IGP. Honorable Alex, there's no way around it. You need to be arrested, charged, released on bail, and go to court. There's no way. I'm going to every embassy. I'm going to write a piece, and I'm going to send it to every embassy, every diplomatic mission, the State Department in Washington, the Home Office in UK. You are in trouble. And you can't get away with this one. Okay, I'm Dr. Kemi. Okay, I live outside Nigeria. No one knows where I live. There's a reason for that. I don't want anything to do with any nonsense, any intimidation, nothing. Almost every journalist that's supposed to be reporting this doesn't even live in Nigeria anymore, just waking up in their locations and all that. Nigerians, thanks a lot, okay?
And then I'm going to also release you with this post that Charles Awuzie made to attack Very Dark Man. I believe that we need more people like Very Dark Man to arrest and handle uncountable cases of abuse of power the leaders in Nigeria mete out to ordinary Nigerians on a daily basis. This case justifies Very Dark Man and questions Charles Awuzie's motives.